Hey guys, J-Man here for a comic book review. The Ambassadors, #1. I am super late to the game on this one. It's Mark Millar, who I don't like. Send the attack drones. No. Yeah, I don't like Mark Millar. I don't really like any of his things, but if you've been following along on my channel, you know that I recently discovered Nemesis, and I thought, wow, this is so awesome. The first series of Nemesis was 10 out of 10. The second series was probably like a 9 out of 10. I didn't like the ending that much. Could have been better, but overall still a fantastic series. So I grabbed some of these on digital, so we're going to look at them through the iPad, not on physical comics. I mean, this looks kind of boring. It looks boring, right? 8 billion people, 6 can have superpowers. Who do you choose? Me. Can I choose me, myself, and I and get 3 powers? Or I'm going to review this using my space system. Story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 to 2. 2 is the best you can get in any category. If I give a category a perfect score, I'm not saying that it's the damn best thing ever made in that category. If I give the storyline a 2 out of 2, I'm not saying that the storyline of Ambassadors is better than the storyline of anything ever written ever. What I'm talking about is I'm comparing it to itself. Now, each comic book comes with a promise. It's promising you something. If you buy a Hulk comic, you are promised that Hulk's going to beat the crap out of some monster. It's called Hulk Smash. If you're getting a Batman comic, it might be a detective story. It might be some vigilante action. It could be something. Batman's a bit more versatile. Superman, the promise is action. He's from Action Comics. It's action, science fiction, maybe some fantasy, right? Adventure. If you're reading an Indiana Jones comic, there's going to be adventure. That's the point of Indiana Jones. Okay. It's very difficult to review a #1 of a new series that doesn't have anything. I don't know if there's other Ambassador comics. I've never seen any. This is the first time I'm reading this, period. It's very difficult. So most issue ones, if they're really good, get a 7 or 8 out of 10. 5 or 6 is a pass. 7 or 8 is really good. 9 or 10 is awesome. It's difficult because it's hard to get a feel for the story on a first issue, right? Like Watchmen is reviewed as a collective thing. It's hard to say, how was the issue 3 story? Like it's tough, right? It's different with characters who are established though, like Hulk. We know what Hulk is. We don't really need to get into the story. We just need to have it be good, right? The story of this is really good. I think I might give it a 2 out of 2. This was like surprisingly awesome. Maybe I've been a Mark Millar fan and I just didn't know it. But everything I've read up until this point, I have not liked. Red Sun is okay. I don't like Wanted or like Kick-Ass is like eh. This was really neat. So, I mean, it's been, I don't know what issue they're on to now, maybe 5 or 6 or something. So, in Korea, this lady here, I think her name, what was her name? Like Chun or something like that. So she's on the cover. She got herself superpowers. Well, she created a super body and she's in prison and she transferred her mind into that body. And now that's her superhero body and she has superpowers that she can give out to people, but she's not going to base it on anything other than if you're a good person or you've deserved powers or something like that. It's a little bit vague because it is issue 1. We start off with this little kind of monkey character who has some sort of powers as well. You can see he's got some kind of powers here. But man, I was friggin' intrigued by what was going on. At first I thought this looks kind of boring. It's a little long. I'm going to give the pacing, I'm going to give it 1.5 out of 2. I was not bored and I would almost give it a 2, but I feel that it could have been shorter or that more could have been revealed in part in this first book. But still really interesting. It's still pretty fast. You get to learn that the United States, they try to make a fake superhero. Again, it's set in a more real world, so it's not like everyone is going to have like powers and stuff. It just looks like there's only going to be a few people with powers. And yeah, and she's pretty neat. And it even says, I'm afraid the movies had it wrong. The superhero doesn't start in New York or Gotham. it starts out here on the other side of the world. So it's pretty neat. Yeah. So artistry, I'm gonna give the art a 1.5. I don't know. It grew on me. I kind of didn't like it. And then I thought, it does kind of fit this world. Art is tough. Firstly, obviously subjective, but secondly, it has to kind of fit with what's going on in the comic. It's really tough to get the artist writer on board. When it works amazingly. When it doesn't, it's awful. I think it's kind of working here for me. I need to think about it a bit more, but I do like it. It's a little bit of a different kind of sense of a different sort of world, and it doesn't feel like superhero, and I think they're going for that, right? So I'm gonna give it 1.5. I did like it a lot. Characters, I'll give it a 1. I like this main character, though I've forgotten her name, which Chun Hee. I hope that's how that's pronounced. I have no idea. I did take I took Taekwondo for a couple of years or 2.5 years or something, but didn't really learn many Korean. I think we learned how to count, and that's about it. I'm not going to do it for you right now because I'll butcher it. But I liked her a lot. I found her very interesting. The other characters aren't really there, but I hesitate in giving it less than a 1 because I actually want the score to be a little higher because I felt that this issue 1 did pretty good to get me into this. So I'm going to read more of it. Enjoyment factor, let's say, where am I at here? 3, I guess 3, 4, I'll give it 1.5. So we're at a 7 out of 10, right? So I'm going to give the story a 1.5. I'll give the pacing 1.5. So that's 3. I'll give the artistry 1.5. I'll give the characters 1 and then 1.5. So 3, 6, 7 out of 10. Yeah. I like this a lot, actually. I think 7 is fair. Maybe it's a bit higher. Maybe it should be a bit higher. The problem is this is sometimes issue 1s are tough. Sometimes the space thing doesn't work perfectly because 7 is still way above average. So 5 or 6 is kind of a pass. 7 or 8 is awesome, right? 9 and 10 is fantastic. I feel like this could even be maybe more. But yeah, I'll give it 7.5 for now, and we're gonna see where it goes because I really like this. I'm gonna check it out and see. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this one, and tell me if it gets better. Typically, these things should get better. So I'm very intrigued right now. Let's see where it goes. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. Until next time.